Nope. 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 I can't remember exactly when it happened, but I did say Denver will finally find a quarterback once John Elway is out of the way. And lo and behold, as soon as John Elway is out of the way, and using that his brain would tell him the better quarterback, Denver gets one, make the playoff in its first year. Hello! Hey everybody, I'm Cortez and I'm a critic, and we're continuing our AFC West 2024 recap, and we're talking about the Denver Broncos, a team that I can help but say, remember when they drafted Tim Tebow? Yeah. So the Denver Broncos drafted Bo Nix, and I was the only one that seemed to say I trust Bo Nix, and I was rooting for Bo Nix. And when Bo Nix was struggling, I was like, well, that didn't work out too well in my favor, did it now? That's gonna come back and bite me, isn't it? But then he started winning and he beat my Bucks. So yeah, that was something I didn't want to happen. And then Denver started winning here and there, and then Denver was also on a hot streak, and then Bo Nix was considered, Rookie of the Year candidate, and then Jaden Daniels started showing, hey, I can be one too, and then oh my God, it's back, and all this great success. And what's funny is that pardon me, I remember Bo Nix's first collegiate start against Oregon when he was in Auburn. Boy, time does fly when you don't pay attention. And to see him end his career in Oregon, funny. And he did so much better in Oregon that I felt like I thought he was better than people give him credit for, or those that were doubting him. I thought Bo Nix was a good quarterback, but it just never felt like no one was going to give him the chance. This guy played for like what, 5 years in college? I mean, he started as a freshman, first game, and he won. And Auburn do anything, but then again, look at Auburn right now. I'm thinking, was it Auburn that didn't help him, or was it Bo Nix? Because Bo Nix thrived at Oregon, but not so much in Auburn. And Auburn has been going through a quarterback crisis since that. Hell, since Nick Marshall was there. So after all that, Denver spending time on Bo Nix, that even I said 8-9 is the best I can do it, because there was still this notion of the Raiders defense is going to harass him, the Chargers are much better built, and the Chiefs are there. So there was always that feeling of, I don't know how much they're going to do when their own division is going to literally probably take 5 wins away from them. And then the rest will be just, basic rookie stuff. But they surpassed my expectations, and they went all the way up to become a 10-7 team and went to the playoffs. And the thing that makes me almost cry is that they probably could have gone better, at least wins in the win column wise, than they did. I mean, 10 win for a rookie in his first year in the NFL is not a thing to sniff at, but it's something to just be like, if you take a magnifying glass and look very deeply into the schedule, you probably could have saw, that probably should have been a win, and that probably should have been a win, and well, that definitely probably should have been a win. Because every NFL team, like I said before, has something what I like to call a stub your toe game. And sometimes stub your toe games are games where, more so in hindsight, you go, yeah, I probably should have won that game over there. We didn't. Yeah. So the Denver one surpassed expectations. They struggled in the playoff game against a much more superior team in Buffalo. So it was kind of like, hey, but Denver's momentum was trying to slack off, and I'm going to say this right here, right now. Let the record show that once again, Tim Tebow is the greatest rookie quarterback to be wear the Denver Bronco uniform. For as in Tim Tebow's first ever playoff game, he actually won. Not even Peyton Manning won his first playoff game as a Bronco. It was Tim Tebow. So once again, I will mock John Elway and the rest of the Denver Bronco front office that are still there from that time and say, Tim Tebow has had a much better rookie season than your quarterback that you thought were more superior. Okay, I'm done with my Tim Tebow obnoxious rant because, quite frankly, it's one of the things where it's like, yeah, that happened. Remember that? We do. We remember that whole catastrophe of a saga and basically made John Elway look like a schmuck. So, the Denver Broncos' best game took place against those Atlanta Falcons, those Dirty Birds in Week 11. Now, the best game is because Atlanta was trying to save itself from fully collapsing out of first place in the NFC South, and Denver just got off a heartbreaking loss to Kansas City on a cheap shot block field goal. Like I said, when we talk about the Chiefs, we're going to talk about like black magic. So them getting Atlanta, a team that kind of want to be like, okay, we're done with the slacking. We're done with the falling off. We're going to come in here to Denver. Yes, it's on the road. I get it. But we're going to prove that and show Bo Nix, hey, Bo Nix, you're still a rookie in the day. No matter what happens, you're a rookie. And what happened? In a sweet poetic irony, Denver smack the bejesus out of the Falcons as if it is back in the 1998 Super Bowl when John Elway did that to Chris Chandler and the Dirty Birds. A 38-6 shellacking. And honestly, it made it feel like both these franchises were going a certain way, but after the victory of Denver, Denver went from going down to going up, and Atlanta went from trying not to go down to just BAM! Through the roof, through the floorboard, down to the grate.
Damn.
That is how bad that game was. That is how bad that game was for Atlanta, but Denver really flexes his muscle because Atlanta was considered more as a favor to make the playoffs, to win the division, and some even go further than just that. Then Denver was not even considered, including myself, as a potential 500 team because the denial, the Bo Nix hatred, the Bo Nix whatever was not there. So for Bo Nix to do this, and it's not like Atlanta was coming in, firepower and anything like that, but it was just a game where like Atlanta was more confident than Denver probably was at that time, and Denver smacked him in the mouth with a frying pan. So, best game for Denver. It flexes their muscle and also kind of showcases that maybe the Falcons are more of a fake than we thought. Your worst game. This game was bad because the game started off where it looked like one, Los Angeles was about to lose another game at home as they were, like they do at Tampa the week before, they were losing to a division foe who came in there red hot and before it was 21-10 before they could blink. But then there was something known as something that I've heard only in myth. It's called a second half. And in the second half of the game, the Broncos, I guess their controller stopped working or something. I don't know. Or maybe they need to refresh the screen. I don't know. Chargers slowly started clawing their way back. And before I know it, it was 24. It was 24-13 in the start of the third. And then it ended up being 34-27. The Chargers basically scored almost every possession since. And the best thing the Broncos could have done was kick a 55-yard Will Lutz field goal and hopefully get the onside kick. Something that's like less than 0% chance of getting. And it makes you think, I don't think Denver is ready for the attention yet. Even though this was a game where it's like, you win and you're in the playoffs. You win and you're in the playoffs. You win and they're not listening to me. They're not listening to me. This is the part where I said Denver could have won more games. the Bengals game, the Chargers game. There were games they probably, heck, we can even go all the way back to week 2. 13-6 loss to Pittsburgh. Really? Like I said, the Denver team was not solidified until probably by week 7. But the Denver Bronco team, in hindsight, you just feel like this team is a lot better than we thought they were. And there's a lot of games that, if you watch, you're thinking they probably should have won that game. But for whatever reason, it's not. And you're hoping that with Sean Payton and Bo Nix working together, that it will lead to a new future of it. And since Bo Nix had this much success with Sean Payton, who Sean Payton basically has gone up to bat for him, and some may say, well, he has to say that. He can say, I don't want Bo Nix. That they needed a quarterback, which I have addressed Bo Nix as basically the last donut in the box of dozens on a studio set. Sean Payton made that donut delicious. So that to me is the Broncos' worst game, even though the expectation for Denver wasn't high, but it still was, better than expected. MVP for the Broncos goes to Bo Nix. No one expected Bo Nix to throw for nearly 3,800 yards and nearly 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. 66% completion rate. But that's the thing. No one thought he would throw for 3,800 yards and 30 touchdowns. Some would probably have thought it would have been 12 touchdowns and 29 or something. Thought that would have been flipped. But it didn't. And by Bo Nix able to do this when he was viewed as the worst. Spencer Rattler was viewed by some circles as a better quarterback than Bo Nix. And I feel like Sean Payton let Bo Nix be Bo Nix at times. The receiving core was very helpful, and the rushing attack was basically mediocre by committee, that even Bo Nix is considered the third leading rusher on the team. So, yeah, this was a game. I mean, they drafted Franklin from Oregon, a rookie, and he only had 28 catches. So, as much as that chemistry was there, it was not developed as quickly as they wanted to, probably from time in Oregon. But Bo Nix took the offense and relied on his athleticism to make up. And of course, Sean Payton's scheme, especially the defense side, to help out Bo Nix, it does help a young rookie. So this is a massive success for Bo Nix, and it's a massive success for Denver Broncos. And as long as John Elway stays the back, we'll be okay. Your grade for the Denver Broncos, I'm going to give you guys a success. Biggest thing is, no one thought you'd win 10 games, let alone make the playoffs. And you did it. That is a success. Now the question is momentum, consistency, which that determines how most franchises on all levels of sports succeed. Consistency. This is why things known as dynasties, last for so long, is the consistencies to do it. Could Denver has the biggest litmus test of everybody. You got to go against the Chargers and the Chiefs. Those two quarterbacks are always considered one of the top 5 in almost every category, every conversation. And you play them 4 times. Not to mention you got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. I said that right. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow there too. So you basically got 6 quarterbacks that are clearly superior than you on your side of the conference. Talk about if you get past those, the Super Bowl should be a lot easier, since the threat of those NFC quarterbacks are not as high or as plentiful as the AFC side. Bo Nix MVP, successful season. That's it said. Now, when it comes to your draft, because now you're on that next stage of, we have a quarterback now and he's young. We don't have to pay him $50 million a year yet. What do we do to help him? Well, I have a few suggestions. Tight end. Colston Loveland from Michigan, the tight end. Ty Warner from Penn State. Ashton Jeanty from Boise. Biggest thing is, I'm thinking if Jeanty can take the pressure off Bo Nix, it helps the offense move forward. Plus, I can't help but think of a Boise Bronco going to the Denver Broncos and just think, not to mention the color scheme is very similar. It just fits perfectly there. But he's not going to number 2 because Pat Surtain has that. But the big thing is, I'm leaning more towards Ty Warren of Penn State, because if you watch Penn State football, you know that Warner was more than just catch a tight end block. He was the quarterback option. Seems very similar to a lot of what Taysom Hill has done. during the time in New Orleans. And I just can't help but feel like Sean Payton may want to relive that with the newer, younger, and more less damaged version of a Tyson Hill with a Ty Warren. So if Warren goes to Denver Broncos, do not be surprised to see him in a Wildcat formation because he did that at Penn State and he's way more athletic than just being a tight end. And I feel like that is something that Sean Payton thrived with Jimmy Graham. So tight end is what I'm thinking for Denver. So with all that being said, Denver, good season. Great job. Let's go with consistency. Now, we have 2 teams left, all with different backstories and one with legacies building. And one wants to have a legacy as they try to build something. So next time we'll be talking about the Los Angeles Chargers and see San Diego is still a better city, right? So until next time, I'm Cortez and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.